Hey everyone, welcome back. Glad to have you back, man. First and foremost, let me say what's up to all my peeps around the world. I hope y'all are safe, sound, your belly full. You just want to sit back and check out what's going on over here in America with all this craziness, man, huh? Crazy, man. Crazy. So, today, I'm bringing Flav back. The Angry Activist. But I don't want you to get fooled by that name because she's not angry at all. She knows what's going on and she's voicing her opinion as to how she sees it. So, and this is here what's going on in the Bay Area is what she's specifically speaking of, Florida in general. She's calling out some of the big wigs, some of our employees. And she's absolutely correct in what she says, you know? And we lose sight of this, man. We lose sight of this. These people work for us. These politicians work for us. And they're supposed to do what we want them to do. This is what we elect them for, you know? But do we really pay attention to all of this? Are we really paying attention to who these people are that we're putting in these seats to make these decisions for our lives and our children for years to come? You know? So, I know that I'm not fully, you know, and I don't know how many people can speak for me, you know, in that aspect. You know, I could definitely be paying a lot more attention, you know, and I could definitely be sharpening my skills when it comes to how government policy is ran, because I know there's a lot of miseducation going on, and I want to be the last person, the very, very last person to provide any miseducation. You know, that's why I always say that again. These are my opinions. I'm not one to do any detailed research. I'm trying to keep it as factual as I know it to be, you know, and my guest as well, you know. So, but at the end of the day, don't take what I say as gospel, please. These are just opinions. But it's real life, though. These are real life people that are out here struggling every day, trying to survive in this crazy, mixed up time, you know? Man, what a crazy time. It's a crazy time. I don't even know how... I don't even know if I could explain this 40 years from now, you know? Sitting around a fucking campfire somewhere trying to tell the kids about how crazy this time was. They would never be able to conceptualize it, but who the fuck knows where we'll be at that time? I may be at a campfire on Mars somewhere living in a bubble telling my damn story. We don't know the way shit's going, but so yeah, man, here goes another conversation with Flav. So again, the whole point of that whole ramble that I just went on is listen to what she's saying, listen to the message of what she's saying. Some things you may agree with, some things you may not agree with, but just listen to the overarching statement of what she's saying, and then just ask yourself, like, is this where we're at? You know, is this the type of people that we've become, that we've became so complacent that we hire the very oppressor that's oppressing us? So, hey man, you know, these are questions that need to be asked, and things need to be confronted, and actions need to be taken, man. So, without further ado, Flav number 2.
Are we there?
There you go.
Touchdown. Well, I figured I just relinked back in because it looked like it was trying to sink in. So I'm gonna catch on.
No, you got it, man. You got it. I was just hanging tight. So how you doing today, Flav?
The Angry Activist is just so pissed off. I got a lot to fire off, a lot of great solutions again, and common sense, and just empowering knowledge for taxpayers, you know, to stop complaining and start reclaiming. We got a new slogan over here. Results, not rejection. How you like that? Taxpayers for change, results, not rejection. That's all taxpayers get is rejected. You get rejected on all levels, and all you need is results. How you like them green apples?
Results, not rejections, huh? I like
That's
that.
right. Results, not rejection.
That's a good positive progressive statement, man. Yeah, I like that.
Thank you. It coincides with our no campaign, which is no equals no election, no re-election. Now, what we about to do once again is we're helping to elevate and help taxpayers get felons, citizens, and when we say reiterate that the word taxpayer means all citizens, not people who pay taxes. It is a difference.
What makes a citizen? What makes you a citizen?
Little technical difficulty. Say that again, bro.
So just help define for the listeners exactly what a citizen is and what it represents.
Okay, un momento. Sorry. How can I help you? Hey, how are you, sir? One moment. Okay, so yes, sir, Mr. Wine. Who you with? I'm sorry, I know I contacted you, but I'm saying, are you with a specific organization?
No, I'm not with no specific organization. I mean, I run my own, but I am not with.
Okay, then you have one. The reason why I contacted you was because we see lots of folks. What we're doing is taxpayers for change, a way out, not a handout, and for results, not rejection. A lot of folks who are running their own nonprofits are getting rejected by their employees who are politicians or the police. So we see a lot of folks fighting for different things, wrongful convictions, over sentencing, whatever the gamut is, if it's for, increase of salaries or minimum wage. It doesn't matter, bees, trees, or manatees. So reaching out to you to link up and try to form networks nationally like people already are, but to actually to achieve and to get action going versus just conversation. There's too much conversation. Everybody knows the problems, but there aren't any tangible solutions manifesting.
I agree with you.
So
I've been saying that for years since I got out.
Well, the issue is that the average inmate or felon doesn't realize they're the boss and that the politician isn't. And we're united, but we're not solidified, meaning it's like Jello that hasn't set. It's no good. So with everyone being the boss, the one president, the 50 governors, all the rest, Congress, they're all employees. So when people understand how to move forward with that knowledge, then they will start getting results versus keep complaining, protesting, marching, petitioning. That's all forms of begging the employee. So I'm asking people like yourself, let's link up, let's lock in. This election, this means nothing. This is a continuous thing. And that's why people are missing the ball. The point is not you wait every 4 years. Now everyone wants to go home. They think they've worked hard and done the most. You haven't done anything. That's how everything is screwed up, because everyone goes home when now you get the work. Joe Biden and Harris don't get the work. We get the work. They're there to manage and do what we tell them to do. And when we don't show up, that's how they end up doing what the hell they want to do. And then that screws us. No jobs, no rights, so this is the end of zero tolerance. So that's why I'm hollering at people like you guys. You look pretty serious. So I'm saying if real men are serious, this is a time to step up and actually benefit off of God's blessings, because it's time to be free at last and win the war on poverty and all these things people blog and talk about and write books on and seminars. But I don't see no money. So if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. So I'm starting off with our jobs back first of all. The government, we are the government. The politicians aren't the government. So therefore, why have we allowed them to take away city, state, county, federal government jobs? That's the first thing to set right. Once we start with the money, everything else will fall like an avalanche. What you think?
It sounds good. I mean, I agree with a lot of stuff that you're saying because it's true. I mean, we're getting the shitty end of the stick.
We allowing ourselves to get it. You see, they just begged us for the job. If they were the boss, they wouldn't have begged us for the job. What it is that we have wrong leadership. We have misinformed leaders. They calling people felons, returning citizen, formerly incarcerated. Nobody is that. A felony is an adjudication. Why would people sit up here allowing themselves to be, are you a felon? Nobody's a felon. That term is even wrong. It's, have you been convicted of a felony? Which, even if you have, it's no reason for us. So we've been discriminated against. We're begging for reparations. The word is compensation. All wrongful terminations. Everything I'm saying can and will be done. With everybody, if they stop marching and petitioning and rioting, we'll get this done.
Okay. So what is it that you're seeking from me at the moment?
To bring this meat to the table with you guys that are already there. For us collectively, we have to start somewhere. The conversation must come to action. So I'm seeking out people who are ready to move forward with achieving the dream, being free at last. And this is the realest example I can give you. Until recent history, there's been no progress on no level with regard to citizen, like nationwide, except for with homosexuals. They band together and realized they were the boss, and that's how they achieved gay rights. So this is the recipe that works. Marching doesn't work, complaining doesn't work, and until people start, like, how are we going to repeal 1020 life? 3 strikes you're out. Because we are going to demand that our employees do what they're hired for, or else they won't be there anymore. We can guarantee that because we truly are their boss. And everybody that just came out and marched and petitioned or rioted, they came out by the millions. So they have to understand that the powers are, the numbers are us, because it's only 51 of them. 50 governors and 1 president. That's 51 employees that we are allowing to destroy our entire nation.
Okay. All right.
So I want to continue the conversation with you. I want to send you some info. We got the Felon Freedom Fund. Basically, I want to lock in with folks that are already doing stuff except for accomplishing what they fighting for. And I ain't trying to be no smart ass. God gave me this because what is everybody fighting for if not to achieve what they want to do? You want wrongful convictions, whatever turned off, you want whatever you want. What are you fighting for? This mission is to help everybody understand to stop begging, pleading, and negotiating, and for us to do a united front of zero tolerance.
Okay. Well, yeah, send me information, I'll read, and if I could do something to help, I'm definitely there.
Well, this is a continuous mission. Thank you. It's just about launching it. I'm a celebrity reporter. We want to get the rappers involved, whoever. See, whatever y'all like. If you're a business owner, so you get business owner involved. If you're a former gang leader, if you're a former biker, it don't matter who you are. And I work in the prisons. I'm a reentry employment specialist. So I'm in Florida. I got, like, I ain't gonna say the entire state, but pretty much they down. So inmates are ready. They deserve education. They deserve typewriters back. So this is about a coalition to implement things that have never been done before and to take care of it, to stop talking about this wrong, this right, what's this and that. We are the boss. We don't have to have one prison secretary. And his job is to secure inmates, not to rule over them or make their lives miserable. There will be no reform, no change unless we move forward with a plan of action that will gain results. Other than that, what is everybody trying for inmates if they're not doing nothing? And I know inmates are ready for change. So thank you.
Okay. All right, well, yeah. Send me info, I'll read, and like I said, anything that I can do to help, I'm here.
All right, I'll follow up with you. I appreciate you. I know this is the holiday time, but, you know, injustice don't sleep or take a vacation, and neither do I. So thanks a lot.
Right. I don't do holidays, but I thank you for giving me the info.
Yeah, and no doubt. And thanks for calling and reaching back out, because this is real. I know a lot of people be trying to be in y'all folks' ear, but at the end of the day, this make dollars and make sense. So I hope that you'll spread the word and know now from here on out, wow, man, I'm about to start doing this different. We're going to start locking in, talking to these people different when we sit at the table, let them know, hey, bro, it ain't. And remember, that it ain't nothing disrespectful, but what we're allowing to continue to happen to us. Discrimination. People say, well, it sounds like you kind of angry. Angry? Who ain't people out? I didn't go out there and riot. So these people suffering from post-traumatic political police stress disorder. Alleviate people before they riot, because we don't have to riot. We can get our jobs back, get our lives back, get our whole. We can move forward with positive, productive, profitable mission. That's what this is about. Nonviolence and positiveness. So that's what I want to state that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, peace. All right, my bad. I just had to take a little impromptu, but I'm glad it was able to catch.
No, that was a good conversation. But let's do this here, Flav, right? Because I'm listening to you, okay? And for somebody that isn't aware of what it is that you're speaking of, right? To them, this may sound like a rant, like an angry rant. You understand what I'm saying?
Correct.
And you and I both know that it isn't. So the importance of this is about education. So it's not so much as preaching to the choir, because you and I, we understand what the message is, you know, so we could speak in a quick linguistic way as what you're doing and follow each other. But for the listeners that are not aware, let's break this whole thing down. Okay. So what do you mean when you say that we are the boss?
Well, what the politicians mean when they say we are the boss, as the taxpayer and the government, there's a process, and we have a democracy. So democracy, I'm not going to break down all the meanings of it, but what it amounts up to is that the political rulers, or wrong words, the political citizens, they're citizens that become politicians.
Well, they're known as political leaders. This is what they're known as. This is what the common reference is that they're political leaders. Is that a wrong term for them?
That is the terminology. But what I've discovered is that is a 20th century terminology. What I'm trying to bring forth is that to refer to them as they truly are, which is employees. Now, what has happened?
How are they employees?
Okay, so they're employees because, one, bottom line, they receive a paycheck. That's it. They receive a paycheck.
From who? Who pays them?
They are paid out of our tax dollars, government funding.
Okay, so by that terminology, then they're employees of us, which means that we're the boss.
They're on the payroll. How that translates is we just hired them. The vote is how they get elected. So that's what they say, we work for you. And those words are true, except for they don't manifest once we allow them into political office. What is happening is there is no oversight of politicians. There is no judiciary oversight. And by the way, all our tax dollars pay for everything. So what I am now introducing as of what God just gave me to sprinkle on y'all good citizens out here is not just independent citizen oversight, political and police oversight committees, but now to actually have divisions to deal with over convictions, over sentencing, and wrongful convictions. Why? Because why would ordinary citizens have to, and it's a way to mitigate this. They're called, wait for it, I know everybody knows this, well, not everyone knows this word. Interns, those who are going to school for law. So we don't have to worry about no budgets or nothing. We can have people sitting up. If you got tons of people, why do we have to have, and they're good to have, don't get me wrong, organizations like Innocent Project, when that proves that we shouldn't have an organization. We should have a division within our own judiciary. Nobody's never thought of that before. So before I leave this earth, America KKK, I'm going to help y'all get woke. I'm going to help y'all get lifted. I'm going to help y'all get free at last and win the war on poverty and achieve the dream, and all these little sugar-coated sprinkle things y'all try to put on SHIT and act like it ain't SHIT.
Flav, say that again, Flav. That was beautiful, man. That was beautiful. That was an awareness that you brought to me that I'm like, wow, why isn't that? Repeat what you just said.
Which part, baby?
The part about the Innocence Project.
Oh, okay. I'm saying that what has become, and mind you, this is why we don't need to ask the question why. When we discover things, what we need to do is get our employees, aka politicians, political Ponzi scammers, to do their jobs. Stop allowing them to go into session and come out and say they got to wait to the next session. No, it ain't no next session. See, I watch these fools. What are you doing in there why are you arguing? Who goes to work? Imagine you go to work and the job description is you got to do research that day. And half the office says, well, we're not going to do the research from Q to Z. We're going to do the research from A to Z or A to B. And then the other half says, no, we're going to do and everybody just starts arguing about who's going to start where. And then at the end of the shift, nobody has gotten anything done. Well, guess what? I would think that almost everybody in that room would not be coming back to that job. So that's how we got to start explaining stuff to average citizen taxpayers. This is what the dealio is. You are allowing your employees, because none of them are there. They're too busy watching the Real Housewives and watching Honey Boo Boos and watching this cooking show and this art show. They ain't watching their money. They ain't watching their employees. And then all of a sudden they say, oh my gosh, 10-20 life, 3 strikes you're out. Yeah, because y'all not paying attention. And you're too busy paying attention to organizations, people, places, and things who ain't going to help you change the laws, eliminate these problems, get rid of this discrimination, reverse and repeal, and do all the things that's necessary. Because if you were on point, I would not be having this conversation. We would be talking about, let's implement the New Deal like that. Like all the crack neighborhoods, they need to be rehabbed. Now, if your mayor or your governor is not talking about that, that's job creation. How about the fact that all our government buildings need to have solar energy? Why are we wasting our money? That's our tax dollars, but y'all fools is too stupid to figure that out, because you be trying to figure out who Ray Ray and Tay Tay them should be dating and who real baby daddy is. That part. So now here's some solutions. We cut and trim back the fat on everything. Number one, take all government employees out of rented real estate. Collectively, those are millions of dollars. We need committees that will go back and streamline, and then we can put our money into our neighborhoods, because we're sitting here allowing these fools to waste our money at will. You're not there, and then you go to a little town hall meeting every now and then, or county commissioner, and why are we sitting there fighting and arguing with the employees? Why do we stand in a line to plead with them? We stand in the line to hire and elect these fools so they can turn around and lord over us. We are idiots. We've got this backwards. It's screwed. The balance of injustice, the scales is off because we allow them to be. Let's set them balance. See, that's a myth. You know, out in front of the courthouse here in Tampa, bro, they got a big ass statue, Lady Justice, Injustice better, with the scales off. Well, that's because we're off. We're idiots.
And man, listen, Flav, man, you're spitting some real good stuff, man. Again, another good point. Why is our government buildings not solar powered? Why are we paying for them to go through the amount of electricity that they go through, man? You're spot on.
Because it's there, because they have an unlimited bank account. It's called taxpayer money, and we're not on it.
Of course. And then what you say about, standing in lines or whatnot, but this is what I've been saying for the longest, like all of these families, I feel like, that are wasting their times out here in the hot sun with picket signs, begging these people that they've elected, as you say, to put in office for change, right? Like, how is this occurring? How are we putting people in place that we stand with signs and picket on? Now we don't want them in place.
People are delusional. They are under some sort of Jim Jones juice. I can't blame them, because I used to be the same way. I'm telling you, God woke me up. God is tired of people begging him, praying to him.
Right, but let's not call it no Jim Jones juice, right? Because let's put it really where it is, right? Put it on the person. It's our fault, like, as you say.
Yeah,
but
and
the Jim Jones
juice, one that took the Jim Jones juice.
Right, but the Jim Jones. But what is the Jim Jones juice?
My point is this: that people will follow what is destructive. And that's what people looked at Jim Jones and say, how could people do that? But sometimes there's no explanation. Only God knows. But the righteous, the sensible will prevail, because they want their jobs. They want money.
Flav, hold up. So, but the Jim Jones juice, right? Now, for me, the Jim Jones juice is distractions, okay? This is one of the main things and one of the main topics of my shows, is how the government places distractions out there for us every day, all day long. They keep us distracted so that we're not thinking and seeing about what's really going on. That's the Jim Jones juice, you see? So, and these distractions come to you through ways of media, news, constantly putting over the news about race riots. They're constantly trying to keep us in fear, one, and two, keep us divided and keep us hating each other, so that our eyes are on each other versus the government. That's the Jim Jones juice. Am I correct?
Well, not by a long shot, because here's some fast facts. And I ain't mad at people, because, like I say, when the Hebrews, Israelites, whatever you want to call them, Jews, cried out to God, and God sent them Moses, they complained. So that's what I've been experiencing. That's why I don't just come up with these words. It may sound, I'm trying to be humorous in the time of tragedy, what we're going through, chaos, but it's not funny in the least. So calling them political Ponzi scammers, I'm dead on. That's what they are. This is a political Ponzi scam. I'm calling for political RICO Act. We're allowing them to pardon themselves. And then when I say these things, it falls on people's ears. You know what it is? It's too much. It's overload. The truth is too much for people to take.
Though, Flav, though, too. You know what a lot of it is, though, as well, is, and this is why I'm very careful with my show and my listeners, because I really want to break things down so people can understand, because this is about education. I think a lot of it is that people hear what we say, but they don't see an agenda behind it. So they sit back and they say, why would politicians do this? What is the reason why they would run this big conspiratorial Ponzi scheme? You see what I'm saying? and it's hard for people to understand the agenda behind government.
Okay.
You know?
Okay, so like I I'm glad that you talk the way you talk, because this is how I work best. What the breakdown is. It's the Wizard of Oz. You get me? Off to see the wizard. You see the wizard behind the curtain. That's the so-called politician government. But the people not really knowing, like Dorothy, Tin Man, the Scarecrow, and the Lion, never really knew that they already possessed what it was that they were off down the road trotting for. Oh, how you like these analogies, your listening audience. You're feeling me? You're looking for something that you already have. We're already the boss. They beg us for the job, then we allow them to get it. You know, it might go a little bit fast over people's head, but it shouldn't take that much common sense to understand that your vote is not your voice. It's your paycheck. It's your job. It's not going to take people long to realize that you're begging your employee for something that they've been giving themselves. If anything, we are going to start voting to give them pay raises. We got to wait forever and a day for 15 an hour. Mind you, taxpayers, that's in 2026. So I started a campaign called 15 Now, not 2026. See, my campaigns, my stuff is about the here and now and immediate future, not in 4, 5, 6, 10 years still begging. That's what people are doing. That's the okie doke. And the biggest thing that I'm going to point out now that people are so broke is the fact that you just allowed Biden, Trump, and everybody before them to raise. I am calling for the end of political fundraising. You know why? Because nobody raises money to get a job. Nobody raises money to get a job at Walmart, Home Depot. If that's the case, then everybody needs to start raising money. Hey, I need to raise money because, you know, I'm going to need a bus pass. I need to raise money because, you know, I'm going to need a car. I'm going to need that gas money. I need to raise money for my job because I'm going to need lunch money. I'm going to need clothes. I'm going to need those steel-toe boots. Oh my gosh, I think I should just get me a manager and just go on the road and do this political comedy show.
And I agree with you. And I believe that the political should stay out of media, right? Because media is so slanted left, right? You get so many messages from the left side versus the right side. And it's all psychological, man. It's all psychological warfare. You know, through this whole election process, you know, on almost every channel that I would watch TV on, I would see 5, maybe 8 Biden commercials to one of Trump's, right? So again, it's a slanted process and it's subliminal, and people don't even realize that these messages, like all of this stuff, is put together by some of the world's top shrinks. They know what they're doing. They know how to read you. They know how to reach you. They know how to manipulate you. And they use that with media. So,
well, I'm a top shrink too. I'm a top shrink too.
Political should stay out of all of that, man.
Well, what, you know, I like your fairy tale conversation, but I'm a realist. So the reality is unemployment discrimination.
What's fairy tale about it, though?
Because
those are facts.
Because it's no disrespect to you. this is the bottom line.
No.
If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. You hear the way I'm talking about getting people their jobs back, getting their rights back. I'm not giving another complaint. Oh, I'm not talking about that BS ban the box crap that never got nobody no job, but they spent millions of dollars. That's all game in the hustle. Oh, maybe you missed this. Mm-hmm. I am a political investigative news reporter now. You see, I ain't playing. All it is to report to the public. Now, if they choose to accept it and wake up, guess what? They need jobs. They begging for reparations. See, how stupid will you be to actually be able to obtain something that you're begging for? And when somebody give you the solution, you look a gift horse in the mouth, you cut your nose off to spite your face, all that crap. You get me?
I know, but Flav, hear me out, man. I'm calling bullshit, man, because you saying that you're a political investigator,
news reporter. Tell it all.
Okay, but you seem slanted to me, man.
You know. I'm also a social reformist. I wear many hats. See, I worked in the prison system for over 10 years. Unlike a lot of people talking about reentry, I'm a pioneer in it. Get that impression.
Then how can you be an advocate? If that's so, then how can you be an advocate for Biden or Harris?
I'm not an advocate for nobody. I'm an advocate for taxpayers. Biden and Harris ain't nothing but an employee. Are you listening? They an employee. My job is to wake up taxpayers so that they understand. Biden ain't coming up with nothing cute. Harris neither. We supposed to be we'll do this. If you elect me president, you gonna do what we tell you to do. That's what people so dumb. They sitting up here waiting on him to come up with a plan of action, and that's what it's not about. That's what this message is. Right. Stop sitting up here playing the fool, America KKK.
Why isn't life working that way? Let's break this down. What you say is true, right? We know that to be true, but that's not reality, and that's not how
the reality
works.
is.
So why is that?
It is working. Listen, what I'm saying. I said this is some recent-ish. The Lord just woke me up. I was dumb too, but not really. See, if you listen to 10 years ago, I've been interviewed. I've been on more rate. I've been saying it. We the boss. Matter of fact, Facebook every now and then it reposts your stuff. Say, here go your memories on Facebook. Man, that's all I'm ever talking about is we the boss. But it never dawned on me what that really meant. So that's why America KKK don't get it. But who did get it was them homos. They got it. And that's how they got gay rights. They were begging the employee, the political Ponzi scammer for decades. They was begging them.
Flav.
And then overnight, they got it.
Flav, don't disrespect the people, Flav.
What do you mean? The word homo, I'm sorry, them homosexuals. What do you mean, disrespect? Are you kidding me? I don't like being socially, politically correct or incorrect.
I know that.
I'm going to call them what they call themselves. You ever been on a gay website? You know what they call themselves? They call themselves twinks.
I haven't been on no gay website.
And all kind of stuff. Well,
I know that, but see again, but now all jokes aside.
Oh, I'm sorry, the alphabet or committee crew. I'm sorry the alphabet crew.
The LGBTQ.
No. Right. Everybody knows what you are. If you're a homosexual, you're just that. Be big and proud because now you can walk around hugged up, kissed up. Good for you. I don't give a damn. The point is, they had enough sense to finally realize and recognize who the damn boss is. Damn they sexual preference. They a taxpayer. I don't care who you sleep with. And matter of fact, they all need to go back in the closet because, I want straight pride parades. I want every straight person to come out and walk around with their fists up and tight shorts talking about, I'm straight, I'm proud, I'm straight, I'm proud. I'm being, sarcastic. We need to let that thing go. So what? Y'all do y'all thing. Whoopie-doo. I'm from Philly. So we got... we've been open society before they even thought to be an open society out here. New York, Philadelphia. Whoopie-doo. They got their rights. They recognized they was the boss. And now every day on their sites, they're saying why I follow them is because of the political the politicalness of what they're accomplishing, that's because we need to follow those same paths. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. We just need to put a fresh spinner on it.
I hear you. And you know,
it's not tiring.
I don't understand.
You're exhausted. You know why? Because you're probably hearing something so fresh. You just don't know how to get it right.
Hold on, Flav. Let me tell you, man.
Let me stay out your mouth and your mind. Go ahead.
I'm exhausted because, you know, to me it's common sense that people just really aren't even seeing. They're not even aware. Again, going back to what I was saying earlier about the distractions, because in reality, a person's day, right? Unless you have the comforts of unless you have financial comforts, right? I don't care what anybody says. Money gives you freedom, right? So unless you have that type of freedom, your day consists of just surviving for the most part. You get up, you work all day, you come home, you cook, you clean, you tend to the children, whatever they got going on. By the time you sit down, you just have a little bit of leisure time for yourself before you have to go to sleep and do it all over again, right?
Yep, daily life.
And America has designed it with this so-called freedom, right, that we have. They have designed it in a way that any leisure time that you do have, there's so many distractions that is available to you, right, just to keep your mind occupied off of anything other than self, right? And this is why our family units are coming apart at the seams, you know, because there is no family unit. People think just because we take our kids to Disney World once a year or something, that's a family unit. You know, and we just got
to be able to determine what it is that they want to live and how they want to live. We don't have cookie cutter recipes, right? I mean, I get what you're saying. Well, are you talking about the American way, the ward and the leave it to beaver lifestyle, picket fence, kid go to college? That's all a facade. That's some crap that people made up.
No, I'm talking about everyday people living in America and how distracted they are, and that these distractions were put in place on purpose to keep us distracted, right? So that some of these ideologies that we're talking about can be implemented. One thing that people aren't realizing, right, is that slowly but surely we're losing our right to free speech. People are not realizing that this stuff does not occur overnight, right? This stuff happens gradual over a process, generation after generation. But slowly things are being implemented to take away our right to free speech. As we were just discussing about homo earlier. You know, I shouldn't have to come behind you and correct you on that, or not correct you, but, you know, just make a statement on it at all, right? I shouldn't have to do these things, but because we've become so publicly sensitive, you know, because we can't deal with our own emotions, we want other people to not affect our emotions. You know, we've just become so sensitive. I would rather create a law, Flav, to stop you from saying homo, right? Just to stick with this example, I would rather create a law to stop you from saying homo. And in some countries now, they're actually pushing for that to be criminally charged to call somebody out like that. This is how pernicious this is getting.
When in fact a homosexual is the terminology, sir. And excuse me for cutting you off, but I want to jump in here. Can I? Thank you. Like the N-word, for instance. Now, white supremacists and terrorists. I've been posting these things, like literally writing up like a blueprint, like, because what I see, my mind as a journalist automatically takes off on its own self, and the creativity flows out, like when a painter picks up a brush. So what I start realizing was that this goes back to we're the boss. If America, KKK, all America is complaining about this and up in arms, and when I mean by all, I mean all you see. all those people on TV, all those people marching in the street, all those people protesting, all those signs up. That's what I mean by all. Obviously, it ain't every damn body in the country. Obviously, just like them white supremacists and them Confederates are not all white people. And I'm just going to keep saying this loud and proud. I want to have a white appreciation day because black people have been hoodwinked and bamboozled into thinking that for some odd reason they orchestrated their own exodus and freedom. White folks of a different time and place and space enslaved. But I believe, just like with any other race of people who've been enslaved on the earth, black people don't need to be complaining because we wasn't the only one. And I believe that if you got taken all the way from your motherland like that, that it was not something that was likely. I believe God's hand is in everything. And why people keep claiming God, Allah, whoever they claim, and acting like the devil? So if the times of old are to be our example, then why people are missing these things like what? So our ancestors may have struggled and suffered, but we are causing our own modern struggle and suffering. And that's the message. And then got the audacity to come to God to beg him. That's what people do every day. I've dealt with thousands of individuals. Oh God, I need a job. Oh God, I need to pay my bills. Oh God, oh God, oh God. So if you are crying out to God,
well, yeah, but
for problems,
what?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Mama.
I'm saying that we are our own solution. The Lord has blessed us that we are truly free, and that's why I'm out here spreading this message.
You're absolutely correct. But the thing of it is, though, the dichotomy that we're in is that, again, like you say, we've been hoodwinked, we've been bamboozled, we've been run amok. And the thing of it is that, especially for white people, and I feel like for the white people, the white Americans at this point, we're starting to understand that our whole history is pretty much a lie, and we've been deceived. We're the ones, again, that been bamboozled, you see, and that's a hard thing to understand. It's a hard thing to understand. Going into Kaepernick, like when all of this started to come down over George Floyd and all that, and all of this circulated into the NFL, and Breeze, when I guess you could say that white people were being questioned as to where they stood, which is a good thing, and Drew Brees had made the comment that he didn't care. He didn't care about anything, and I'm paraphrasing, please, but it was along the lines as he would not take any disrespect toward the American flag, and when he said that, of course, the nation came down on him for the miseducation that he had behind that whole movement, and it's just about education.
Can I jump back in? This crap is so this shit is so superficial. Let me give you a quick breakdown in history. First of all, I don't represent the black community or all black people just because I am black. This is a basic observation of me as a social reformist and a community resource provider. I have been working with and in the black community for over 15 years now. So these are the observations that I'm making, not something, and what I see on TV, the media, or people, individuals writing me or whatever. Black folks can't take each other. And they just killed each other over Popeye chicken sandwiches. They just killed each other over gangbanging for over 3 decades. There was no fight for justice. They had their little Stop the Violence movement, but there was nothing like what has happened this day. So whether it's a new millennial thing, whether it's these newbies, I don't know, but I want people to get this impression. They better shut up, because they can talk crap and act like they really care. But if you really cared, you would have about your brother or the black man or anything else. Wrong is wrong anywhere. I'm just glad that social media is now able to expose the modern day lynching methods of bullies with badges or wrongful employees. That's all they are. The ones that are wrong need to be removed. They need to be prosecuted. We need to take down this blue wall of protection because they're only employees. If you're doing your job, then do your job. That's what it is. We have allowed people to become big, where they say they too big for their britches. These positions, these titles, they have lost their minds. They are only employees. You receive a paycheck. You are on the payroll. So this is what we must make the rubber meet the road. Stop giving excuses, stop asking questions, and trying to figure out what's already right in front of your face. Nobody, by the way, I haven't heard God mention this whole entire time. Not during the pandemic, not during Trump administration. And if you look around, before the crack era, there were all of these black churches because black people were suffering. But now they think they ain't sufferings no more. Well, here's a big clue for them. Nobody never intended for black folks to have anything. We only have God to thank, God over devil, because we were underfoot. Now, because people so looking at Real Housewives or whatever show they watching, they're not watching these lynching shows, these lynching episodes where they show all of these white people standing around somebody they done mutilated or murdered, and right there in the picture you see them, but black people too dumb to realize, black leaders too stupid to actually implement this. Why have we used our own tax dollars to prosecute and persecute Nazi war criminals? That shit happened over in Europe, but we use our own money to prosecute and hunt them down. Our own millions of dollars have been used to hunt down Nazi war criminals across the globe, and our efforts, but nobody is prosecuting them white damn murderers that's right there in them pictures and still alive to this day. They don't want it like this. To this day, all these stupid black folks around this country still begging one superintendent employee and 5 or 7 school board members to implement what they say should. Listen to what the people say now, what they want, what should be happening. But still, they sit back and allow a city council right here in Tampa, Florida. Taxpayers can't sell water on the corner. Your own taxpayer funded corner. You have allowed your employees who go home in their Priuses and their Teslas, go home to their new condos built over there on Palm Avenue. I don't see no people of color living. By the way, every single place that has been built up used to be a crack dope area. They tore it down and no new housing is built there. All where black people live don't live there no more. And the new project that's right downtown, they tried their best. Employees tried their best not to rebuild it. And the last piece of black property has just been sold off. Central Park, that's right behind the courthouse. That's what took this so long. Every other project that was remodeled. And by the way, why is it the only new housing for black people is a project in this city? Because they too dumb to realize that's all they own money. And I'm the only one telling them that these corners are your corners. They got this law up under a panhandler's law. I had a meeting with that city councilman Goose. I'll send you the flyer. And I told him, I said, what do you think taxpayers are going to do when they find out that you, an employee, are denying them the right to earn money? I said, you guys are committing political suicide and you don't even know it. I said, in the near future, it's not going to be anarchy. It's going to be a political purge. And that's what I'm calling for.
Well, what's the reason? What's the reason they're not letting anybody sell water on the corner?
Because they said that's what. No, they said that's what taxpayers wanted. And I said, that's a lie. A panhandling law means begging. Selling water is commerce, the sale of goods and services. That's how America was built. So that's what I'm telling them. It's wrong. But see, these people out here, I'm trying to work on the national campaign because.
Okay. Hold on. So, okay. So now they passed a panhandling law that you couldn't sell water on a corner because homeless people were running up the cars and trying to
No,
sell
not homeless people. They
bottles of
were
water to the
begging.
people.
That's what I'm saying. It's wrong. It's put up under the wrong city ordinance. And by the way, it's a city ordinance. It's not a state law or nothing. That's some crap. Yeah,
I understand that, but okay, but what I'm saying is that was an issue, right? Is you would stop at a light and homeless people, whoever, would come up to your car and try to push
that
water
I'm
up
talking
on
about
you,
regulation.
right?
That's not what people were doing. That's not why this was passed. Nobody in recent history has done that. People were begging, okay? Know the difference. Nobody was running up to nobody's car selling water. These people, if they only were selling water, they would have fought against their right to continue selling water. This is Florida. You can make $50 to $500 a day on a corner. That's how people get paid, regardless of what city council thinks or wants. People need to earn money. So I approached them like, look, this is the bottom line. Why don't y'all just go ahead and remove this sanction, because it's causing ordinary people who are out there selling water. Mind you, it would be regulated. You would have to have a peddler's license, obviously, and you would be restricted to sell at certain times of the day. But in Philly and New York, all over the Jersey, all over the country, there are millions and millions of people out there with their vending trucks and their sales and their wares, and they're paying their bills. So this is what these fools tried to kick. They who are employees, a committee of 5 or 7 or one mayor would say, well, it's not fair. Check it out. It's not fair if people sell water on corners and they're not paying taxes like this big store that pays taxes. So this is what I hit them with. Okay, so let's put that logic, and therefore almost every company is going to have to be relocated that wasn't there first. And then they say, what do you mean? I say, well, if Burger King was on the southeast corner, then McDonald's got to go if they came later on the southwest corner, because Burger King sells cheeseburgers and fries. So we can't have McDonald's on the opposite corner selling burgers and fries. You see how you get them? You don't let these fools ever come back with a rebuttal that is insignificant. How dare you? Nobody got to buy water from me on the corner. They could go to this daggone 7-Eleven. They could go to this gas station. So like I said, with that logic applied, you got to run it across the board. There are no businesses that sell similar or alike. That means only a Chick-fil-A, a Taco Bell, a Burger King, and a Kentucky Fried Chicken can exist, or either churches. Either churches and Kentucky can't be in the same vicinity, neighborhood on each corner, because, hey, they sell chicken. So that's how I shut they dumbasses up. They come back with these refutable rebuttals. And then what? But they got a job, and their job is not to come up with ways. Now I can see if they say, no, we're not going to have citizens selling water. What we're going to do is open up a water plant and bottled water plant and treatment plant, and everybody, we just hire them in the water business like that. They ain't coming up with nothing like that, because their jobs don't depend on them coming up with jobs. That's another thing.
Slave. I go with option B, Flav. I mean, me personally, I'm not buying water off anybody off a corner. I'm really not, especially now in COVID.
Okay,
crazy.
That was a suggestion for people who can't get past a job application, so they won't bust you in the head at the ATM, so they won't break in your house. That's a suggestion for people to earn honest dollar to pay their bills. They can sell Avon, they can sell Amway. Okay, get that impression. The point is that no employee should restrict a citizen from earning honest money. That's not their jobs. So I don't want to go and split the hair. The bottom line is sales and commerce and goods are the rights of the taxpayer. And the sooner that they get woke to that, that will be, by the way, that's what's going to start happening. Now, if some white guy or Italian guy standing on the corner with a nice little setup. Everybody say, oh, wow, look at that business. He's selling water. Good idea. I should have thought of that. So it don't matter. People sell millions of dollars out their hot dog cars. Now people are getting trucks. They're downscaling from brick and mortar to mobile because, yeah, the corner is the lick. So I get it if you don't want to get nothing from nobody right now, but we ain't even talking about right now. We gonna act like the COVID don't exist. What we're speaking of is COVID absent of, because the COVID ain't affecting people's mind to understand they the boss. The COVID is not stopping them from protesting and rioting. Matter of fact, I can't believe how people came out in arms like that. But had anybody been there to help them understand the only place you need to march to is the polls?
Hey, man, again, what you just said, I want to point that out because media, again, is persuasive, right? Now, nobody had anything to say. Nobody. I didn't hear not one negative report about all the people that came out to support Biden, during COVID. But now, if it would have been on the other side at a Trump rally or anything like that, the media comes down hard about all of these people out during COVID. But nobody came out and said anything against all the people that came. There were millions of people flocked all over the place. No masks.
For who? For Biden?
So yeah, after Biden declared himself the winner, he and all the people started coming out and they were showing all over, people all in the streets. He's so
happy he lived.
But then it's a celebration.
Well, actually, I'm hoping that the Lord grants me more influence of exposure as well. So I'm looking to get a public relation person, a manager. This is really big. We're looking to do the million taxpayer felon marches, inmate marches. And the plan of action is simple. For inmates, what's in it for them? Because we want them all donating $1 to the Felon Freedom Fund. Well, what's in it for them? We're going to get their typewriters back. We're going to get education back. All the things that nobody has been able to get them, but everybody is out here complaining about. That's the difference. It's like ACLU and NAACP. Either step up or step back. If you outlive your usefulness, then no problem. But they're the best. But no, we need government oversight committees. We can have that. These fools aren't ever going to do that. They're never going to. The wolf, the snake, will never stop being a snake. The wolf will never take itself out of the hen house. And that's what's happened. These fools have come and into the hen house. Well, I use a better analogy. They lost the Civil War, and then we allowed them to take over the White House. You see, that's where they've been. They've been right there all along. And people, they were too ignorant to understand the difference, like allowing the Confederate flag to still be in America. People are so dumb. They lost the war. That flag is not even supposed to be in existence. Just like you can't go around flying the swastika, really? That people would be like, oh my God, how disrespectful, and so forth,
They absolutely would. If I went and put a swastika in my front yard right now, I would have the police at my door later that day to my people complaining. But yet, like I said, and you and I said earlier, there used to be, not anymore, but there used to be a Confederate flag the size of a building.
Oh yeah, I saw it, and it was an awesome sight to see. You know why? Because it showed exactly what America KKK is still representing. But as I like to, and I know time is, well, check this out, because I watch PBS. Your girl can give you real fantastic history lessons, such as, or not history lessons, learning lessons. It's just like, I like to say, it's like the preacher that breaks down the Bible. Anybody can read the Bible, but you go to church and they'll make the whole hour 2 sermon about like one little passage in the Bible, breaking it down. So that's what I like to do with our history. Number one, white folks were the ones in jail first. They created mass incarceration. Black people weren't even allowed to start being incarcerated, committing crimes, because we were underfoot. We were underfoot into the 50s, the 60s, 70s. Then that's when you start seeing a little explosion of little pimps and the drug dealers and whatnot. Black people, like up north, but up north, it was like you really had to be like a rapist, a murderer. They weren't focusing on no little petty ass crimes. We have allowed us to criminalize our
Flav, I lost you, Flav.
Hello, my bad. I'm about accountability and credibility. This we have to own up to what it is that we're allowing to happen to us, and accept the fact that we can stop it and stop complaining. It breaks my heart to see people disenfranchised and not realizing that you don't have to be. I don't know why God has revealed so much to me, just like Albert Einstein or Tesla. I'm not coming up with, tangible creations. I'm coming up with mental tangible creations, because knowledge is only power when applied. So that's what's happening. People aren't applying the knowledge of being the boss. They're only saying it, and it's not working for them because they truly don't get it. This country it's going through some drastic, what I call tsunami changes, whereas though it comes in, but people didn't see the ripple effect of it going out. That's what happened with 9/11. It killed the dope game and the economy. The economy was fueled by the drug trade. I'm not talking about people buying and selling drugs. I'm talking about what drug money allowed to circulate. The hood is a great example of it. Right now, all hoods that used to have a bunch of hoodlums hanging out in front of them, not one. The only people that are hanging out now are bums or street people. There's nobody hanging out at these corners no more because it's a wrap. It's over. I'm not saying the drug game over. I said the dope game. Dope meaning cocaine and crack. That's what fueled the inner city urban communities. You didn't have to be buying or selling it to benefit from it. Like all the drug, like for instance, go back and look at all those videos and seeing the guys making it rain on dancers. They don't do that anymore because those money days are over. The whole economy has changed. Therefore, now you hear rappers talking about investing and doing other stuff. And now they're not even rapping about the same crap no more. They're so broke, all they could be rapping about is money. It used to be money, cars, and hoes. Now it's just hoes because they ain't got no money. And very few of them have money like that. If you look at them, their wealth is showing. So what? You can have a bunch of cars rented, leased out, whatever. That's the lease. So things have not just changed in the drug world, it's in the actual culture of our society. And what are people wanting? You're wanting to look like these stars. That's cool, but you're overdoing it. People allowing them to get themselves pumped up in their butt with Home Depot glue and all kind of stuff, silicone, just so you can look this, that, or the third. This society is going to the dogs of insanity. But for the rest of us, regular folks out there, that's going to end up working at Home Depot, Walmart, Burger King, and you need to pay your bills. You need to stop begging for $15 an hour. So it's 15 now, not 2026. If you want marijuana legalized, you're the boss. One man in this country, look it up, Google it. One man said, oh, marijuana. So how can one man come to a determination that millions of people, taxpayers, have concluded that they want? If you grown enough to smoke poison cigarettes, which by by the way, have not one ingredient on it. Ain't this a country of laws and labels? So if this country has every single product with a label of products on it, why is cigarettes the only one that has no label on it? It says tobacco, nicotine, and a warning label. That ain't no ingredients.
Yeah, but going back to what you were saying earlier, it's a good thing that we don't want drugs in our community, and we don't want to give the perception that drugs is a good thing in our communities. You know what I'm saying? And I damn sure don't want a community that relies on drug money, because of everything that brings. I hear what you're saying, but to glamorize, well, that's true, right? Well, no. Let me say this: America likes to run from its problems, right? America don't like to face its realities, so therefore it uses addiction as that problem. And
that's
this is why we're in a state we're in
using
now.
things. For instance, like they say medical marijuana. If you have no appetite, if you need to eat. So I don't split the hair. You know why? Because this is number one. What God put on this earth and what God bless, no man can curse. He don't tell you to get on it and abuse it. That's with anything. People worry themselves to death. People sex themselves to death. So I don't make excuses for people as long as what you're doing ain't harming me, my family, and society. Now we have an issue. You taking your own personal choice to do and indulge with whatever you want to. That's not for society. That's what you just said, and no disrespect. That's like these political Ponzi scammers. You out thinking your own purpose because it's for man to decide. I hear what you saying. You don't want drugs in the community, but it's the community that decides what they want.
No, but listen to me though. It's Flav, you're wrong, Flav, because the thing of it is that we as Americans, well, not Americans, just us as humans, we're so weak at times. We doubt ourselves so much. There's so much insecurity that's in us, right? And dealing with trauma from our childhood. So it's not fair to say the things that you're saying, because
I'm not even talking about addiction.
Is not something you're jumping into other in a lot of people. So, hold up. No, but this
you brought up
is
addiction.
The importance of what we're saying,
I ain't tripping.
Because yes,
I'm listening.
Hold on, mommy, listen. But listen to me though. Listen. Right? I agree with you about what you're saying about drugs being God-given. I'm 100% with you on that, and I'm 100% behind what Oregon is doing as far as decriminalizing small amounts and whatnot, because we God gifted us these things, right? We can't put limitations on things that God gifted us that can just grow in our backyard, right? But what we do know is, because of oppression, because of societal norms, we tend as human beings to run away from our problems. Self-awareness is not number one on our list, right? So we tend to take things in overabundance, whatever it is, like you said, sex, gambling, shopping, cleaning, whatever your addiction is.
Being a troublemaker and people business causing problems.
Being a bully, whatever your escape is, it's there. That's your addiction, right? And we're doing all of this in an overabundance. So it's not like we can just say, okay, cocaine is legal, and we just expect nobody to, we expect everybody to handle it responsibly. We just know that that's not going to happen. So what's going to end up happening now is my personal use is now going to start causing you
Once
infliction.
again, you jumping
Now,
around
I
a lot,
can't support
and I
my habit.
appreciate
I have to come.
you breaking it down. But we off topic. See, what I started by saying was how the dope game killed the economy. And by the way, everybody didn't use drugs. Everybody don't sell drugs. Everybody didn't have no crack baby. Everybody. Matter of fact, I'm trying to do a little sideshow with my people out in Las Vegas called Crack Chronicles for everybody to talk about them. Because you know what? People ain't off of crack. Crack off of them. This whole country cannot get cocaine and crack no more. So everybody who used to be a crackhead is no longer a crackhead because they cannot get the rock. So what I'm talking about is compensation and to improve our neighborhoods, because we sat by and allowed. If people identify, you know what I learned? You right here with me.
What do you mean? But Flav, what
There's
do you mean?
No more
People
rock.
can't
Okay,
get the rock?
do you have a paycheck? Would you like to bet your paycheck? I got about $2,000 on me right now. I could meet you anywhere and bet you $2,000. Homie, get your facts straight. Google crack arrests. Google, they ain't even no bondsmen in this town no more because the dope game over. Okay, mind you, I work in the prisons. I work with the people. Matter of fact, since I've been sitting here talking to you, know where I'm at? I'm in the hood, and not one car has come by booming. The dope game is over. Not the drug game, dope game. Cocaine. 9/11 killed it. If it was still around, you would know it. So Google it. Why are you sitting there? Google crack arrests in the last day, week, and month. And tell me what it come up to be. You know what's out here is called spice and crystal meth. That's what urban city folks are dealing with, but that's what the only drugs is out here. Mind you, the reason why I'm bringing up these facts is that the economy has tanked, and that has caused a surge in arrests and money motivated crimes. That's why this mission is important, for the scales of injustice to be balanced, so that people, the only way you should be unemployed is if there are no jobs or you're not qualified, not because of your criminal background. That is to be determined. Meaning, if you're a pedophile, obviously you're not going to work in daycares, or if you're a thief, you're not going to work in banks. But that does not mean you're not going to work. And all felons or formerly incarcerated should have been getting a disability check. They're a taxpayer. See, that's what's going to make them angry, knowing that how dare your political employee take away all of your beneficial rights that they weren't never supposed to do, and then you still pay taxes into a system that you don't benefit off of. Big facts. You better believe it. Now, it's time to do the marches. It's time to get, or I'm trying to find somebody to do a Facebook group like that. You ever seen a commercial with Facebook groups like the Kazoo and all of that? All of that superficial stuff. I'm not mad at people being happy out here, but I don't see how people can be happy with people potentially about to rob you or bust you in the head at the ATM. People need to understand, as long as this crap is existing, injustice.
But see, but that goes back to my point though, Flav, about America and about what this podcast is about, the awareness, because most Americans have the tendency to ostracize, to put their heads in the ground and hope that everything just goes away. Hope that the government's going to come swoop in and just take care of everything so they don't have to deal with it.
I apologize. And go ahead, babe. Finish your comment. I was just going to ask if we could get a fresh perspective in a second. Go ahead.
Well, I got to get off. We already been on the phone for an hour and 20 minutes. I got to get on with the rest of my day, Flav. This was unprepared, but
let me let my girl from the West Coast chime in real quick. Just take 30 seconds. Lady D,
go ahead.
Tell them what the lick read.
Because all right, come on, bring her in.
She might be she work. You there, D? Yeah, she might be in the middle of something. Okay, well, maybe next time. I do appreciate this, and the message is initially, I've gotten so much on with you, is to get Governor Ron DeSantis, employee, to resign. All taxpayers, all Black Lives Matter, everybody. This fool has called out for approving rioters to get away with crimes. If you get ran over by a protester, this is what they're trying to do. They're mad now that Trump has lost. Trump the traitor has lost, or he's going to lose, and all his cronies, all these traitors, they're really traitors. They're against you, American public taxpayers. They're against you. How dare you sit by and allow these fools? The South has not risen. The Confederates. It is time to purge them. It's time to do a political purge, and it is time to get rid of employee, what I don't even know what to call him, traitor employee, Ron DeSantis in Florida. He is calling to allow citizens to run each other over and to condone violence and not be prosecuted. And this is one of the most heinous, gross negligence or miscarriages of injustice by a political employee, besides Donald Trump pulling this crap. And we must get rid of him and demand a resign and get rid of this fool.
Okay. What is this bill that you're talking about with DeSantis?
No, Ron DeSantis just came out publicly and said that he wants to make running, and I know I'm not giving it to you word for word, but it amounts to, he wants to make running citizens over legal. Remember, during a couple of protests, the protesters accelerated and ran people over. He wanted to say the people who do that won't be prosecuted.
Self-defense.
That ain't self-defense. That's murder. Man. First of all.
Okay. No, hold on, Flav. No, hold on now, because I'm telling you, if I'm surrounded by 50 people banging on my car trying to break my windows, okay, I am running you over, Flav. I'm running you over. And I shouldn't be charged. I'm supposed to let people just open my car doors and drag me out of the car or whatever.
Every circumstance is different, just like with people breaking in, entering into your home. People nowadays, they are getting prosecuted. It is not as simple and cut as dry as just that. So that's the point. Now, when in North Carolina, when nobody was attacking those people, and you can't just say you're presumed to. Matter of fact, okay, so that's what I'm talking about.
There's some. You're absolutely correct. There are some malicious.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about if you just happen to be coming down the street and you find you made a left, you should have made a right, and you're in the middle of protesters, and oh my gosh, what's going on? And yeah, they're like they're about to kill you and your family, and you had to take off. No.
Because I'm white.
I'm talking about you just accelerated, pushed on the gas because you an angry devil, and this you feel like just like they killed that man out there, one jogging through the neighborhood. Now I'm not one to get offset by things, but that has really got me fired up, and that is what fuels my fire. And I appreciate your time, and let's do this again, man. Let's link up and turn these messages into motion, to action.
Yeah, we got to. I'm trying to figure all that out, Flav. But
you too, and I'll hit you back up, and we'll see. Right? Inshallah, time to achieve the dream. Peace.
So there we go. Flav, and she's speaking the truth now. I'm telling you, she's speaking the truth. We have to wake up. So I'm gonna see about trying to get Flav on once a week about doing what's going on in the Bay once a week. Keep us informed about what's going on here in our local hometown area. But if you guys like the discussion, man, please stay tuned. I got some great guests coming up. I have Penny Pierce coming up, author of Frequency and many other books. But Frequency was the one that changed my life and the way that I looked at it and experienced it. So she is coming up Wednesday. After that, second week of December, I have Dr. Robert Roden coming up, which he is doing very big things dealing with trauma and how it affects children growing up, incarceration, things of that nature. But you can look him up. He's out there in Arizona doing some big things. So I have some great guests coming up. So please like, subscribe, share, get this message out to people. You can support me in many ways. You can go to my website, see what I'm doing. Foot's on the ground, boots on the ground. The website's www.cominghomecoalition. That'll take you to many different avenues to reach me at. And also, if you want to ever donate to any of the guests that have been on my show, you can do that as well. And you'll see instructions how to do that provided in the links everywhere. So again, thank y'all for tuning in. I hope you enjoy the show. Again, great guests coming up, so stay tuned. Until then, peace, love. I'm out.